Welcome to the HYL Score Uni channel. If you lived for 1,000 years, what would you do with just 10 years beside a friend? Frieren, the strongest mage in the hero's party, already knows the answer, and it isn't a pretty one. She spent 10 years alongside the hero Himmel, defeating the Demon King together and saving the world. But when Himmel died of old age, Frieren suddenly realized those 10 years had passed for her like the blink of an eye, and she barely knew the friend who had walked beside her. That's where Frieren's real story begins. Not an adventure to defeat evil, but a journey to learn how to be human. Frieren is an elf, a race that lives for thousands of years. In Frieren's world, this isn't just a fantasy detail. It's the very root of the entire story. She was once the mage of the hero's party, a group of 4 made up of Himmel the hero, Eisen the warrior, Heider the priest, and Frieren herself, who spent 10 years on a journey to defeat the Demon King. Once the quest was complete, each of them returned to their own lives. For her 3 human companions, that meant the rest of their lives. But for Frieren, an elf who had already lived over 1,000 years, it was merely the beginning of one small chapter in her long, long life. She continued wandering the world, collecting spells as a hobby, with no urgency and no clear purpose. 50 years later, she returned to see Himmel, now an old man, and realized human lives are far too short. So short, she hadn't even had time to truly understand him. Himmel passed away not long after, and standing before his coffin, Frieren wept, something even she hadn't expected of herself. At first glance, Frieren looks like a cold, hard-to-reach character. An almost permanently blank expression, a habit of sleeping in until noon, and one slightly unsettling hobby, digging up the graves of deceased mages to collect their spells. This scene was not constructed as an act of grave robbery or desecration of the dead, but rather as part of a commemoration, verification of remains, and handling of magical remnants. She has little interest in practical magic. Most of her vast spell collection is made up of utterly useless spells, like one that makes seedless grapes, or another that makes flowers bloom instantly. To her, they're beautiful, and that's reason enough. But here's what makes Frieren one of the most beloved characters in modern anime. That coldness isn't a lack of feeling. It's the result of a being who has lived so long that she's grown used to watching everything, everyone, pass by and disappear. It's not that she has no emotions, she's just slow to recognize her own. And that's one of the series' most moving themes, an immortal learning to love fleeting mortal beings, knowing full well she will have to say goodbye to them. Don't let her gentle appearance fool you. Frieren is one of the most powerful mages ever to exist in her world. She was trained by Flami, a legendary archmage. After centuries of training and collecting spells from across the world, Frieren's magical knowledge is considered unmatched. But the series is also careful to remind viewers, power isn't just about how much mana you have. Frieren herself has admitted that several mages have defeated her despite having less mana than her, because willpower, technique, and real combat experience matter just as much. After Himmel's death, Frieren took in Fern, a war orphan once saved by the priest Heider. Frieren trained Fern to become a mage, not just to pass on knowledge, but, though she'd never admit it, to have a companion for her long life ahead. Later, the young warrior Stark, a student of Eisen, joined the party, taking the lead in dangerous battles. The goal of this new journey, reaching Oriol, a place said to let the living speak once more with the souls of the dead, so Frieren can talk to Himmel again. Along the way, they take on the first-class mage exam, face some of the deadliest demons like Aura the Guillotine and Lugner, and meet new allies and rivals. But beneath its fantasy adventure surface, this remains a deeply human story, about learning to cherish brief moments before they disappear. Most fantasy anime focus on action, epic battles to save the world. Frieren takes a different path, slow, quiet, and deeply reflective. The story doesn't ask, how do we defeat evil? It asks, how do we live fully when time isn't on our side? Frieren, with her near-infinite lifespan, ends up teaching us the clearest lesson about the finiteness of human life. She regrets not asking Himmel more questions, not paying closer attention to him, while she still could. And that's exactly why, without constant epic battles, Frieren Beyond Journey's End has become one of the most beloved anime in recent years. Because all of us, at some point, have wished we'd spent more time with the people we love before it was too late. Frieren doesn't teach us how to become immortal. She teaches us the opposite, to treasure the limited time we have with the people standing beside us right now. If you haven't watched Frieren Beyond Journey's End yet, It's one of the most worthwhile anime of recent years. Not for its action, but for how it makes you reflect on your own life. If this video made you want to learn more about Frieren, let us know in the comments which character you love most in the series. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more anime breakdowns. Thanks for watching!